Mwai Kibaki was the last born of 8 children of a peasant family of Kibaki Githinji and Teresia Wanjiku, born on the 15th of November 1931 in Gatuyaini village, Othaya, in Nyeri County. During his early life, Kibaki joined Gatuyaini Karima Mission School and Madhari schools for his primary and junior secondary education by the year 1946. Later, he joined Mangu High School and completed studies by the year 1950, where his performance was exemplary, scoring higher grades in his education. After his secondary education, Kibaki proceeded to Makerere University in Kampala, Uganda, where he studied economics, history, and political science. Later, he joined London School of Economics, where he obtained a Bachelor of Science in Public Finance by the year 1958. After obtaining his honorary Bachelor of Science, Kibaki's political journey began. In 1960, Kibaki left academia and actively joined politics when he was elected as the Secretary General of KANU, which then became the source of the Kenyan's independence constitution. In 1963, Kibaki was elected as a member of parliament for the then Donholm constituency, now known as Makadara, in Nairobi. This was the trajectory point of Kibaki's political journey, where he was appointed as the permanent secretary for the treasury in 1963 and appointed as the assistant minister of finance and chairman of the economic planning commission, later appointed the minister of commerce and industry in 1966, where he served until 1982. Kibaki also became the member of parliament for Othaya in various subsequent elections from 1979 to 2007. Between 1978 and 1988, when the late President His Excellency Daniel Arap Moi succeeded the first President of the Republic of Kenya, the late Mzee Jomo Kenyatta, Kibaki was elevated to the post of a Vice President, with the late Daniel Arap Moi being his boss, where he again in 1991 called for the multipartyism, days after the repeal of Section 2A of the Kenyan Constitution, and resigned from KANU. He formed his Democratic Party (DP) and entered the presidential race in 1992, this time as an opposition against Moi's regime.
Kibaki, naapa kwamba nitakuwa mwaminifu kwa Rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya, Mheshimiwa Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi, na nitaitumikia Kenya kwa moyo wangu wote, na kwamba nitaihifadhi, nitailinda na kutetea katiba ya Kenya kwa mujibu wa sheria iliyowekwa. Ewe Mwenyezi Mungu tusaidie.
By then, Raila Odinga had also joined politics with opposition but didn't beat Kibaki for obvious reasons of the divided ethnic lines, which then meant that Kibaki didn't succeed in the race as the president-elect.
Sisi tunajua kwamba tutashinda. Tufuate umoja, tutafute haki. Kenya mpya imeshajengeka. Imeshajengeka.
The Democratic Party believes that Kenya must regain its lost good name and past glory. It has also the potential to elevate its status even higher in the community of nations.
In the 2002 election bid, Kibaki joined hands with the other disappointed KANU defectors and Liberal Democratic Party to form National Rainbow Coalition, formerly known as NARC Kenya. And on the 14th of October 2002, Kibaki was nominated as the NARC Opposition Alliance presidential candidate after Raila's famous declaration of Kibaki Tosha.
Tukasema NARC sasa ndio itakuwa ni jahazi yetu ambayo tunavuka naye kutoka ngambo hii kuelekea Canaan. Si sawa sawa? Mimi niliuliza nyinyi pale kule Uhuru Park, ati mzee Kibaki si ametosha?
On 27th of December 2002, Kibaki, through NAC, was announced as the winner of the general elections, KANU, with 62% of the votes against KANU's presidential candidate, Uhuru Kenyatta, with 31% of the votes.
These provisional figures do give indication that Honorable Mwai Kibaki is ahead of the next presidential candidate, that is Honorable Uhuru Kenyatta, by a very wide margin. It is not likely that the margin can be eliminated.
I accept the choice of the people, and in particular, now concede that Mr. Mwai Kibaki will be the third president of the Republic of Kenya.
He was sworn in the 29th of December 2002 while sustaining injuries from an accident he had been involved in at Machakos County. President Kibaki, unlike his predecessors, he avoided personality cult. He was of a low-key, publicity-averse, but highly intelligent and competent technocrat. His style of leadership gave him an image of seemingly aloof, withdrawn technocrat and made him set out of touch with the street.
Mwai Kibaki, naapa kwamba nitatenda kazi zangu za urais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya kwa uaminifu.
In 2005, NAC fell out, with LDP resigning from it, led by Raila Odinga, who were calling for a referendum to amend the constitution and have the clause of power sharing with the post of a prime minister. This agitated President Kibaki, which led him to dismiss his entire cabinet in the middle of his term with an aim of purging all Raila-affiliated ministers by then, leaving the Vice President and the Minister of Home Affairs Mudi Awori. He then maneuvered his way with other ministers then and came up with a government of national unity, which slowly turned to Party of National Unity after the Chungwa NDZ Constitution referendum. 1 hour later, after the announcing of the 2007 general election, Kibaki was sworn in at dusk at the State House in Nairobi for his second term. Odinga bitterly accusing him of fraud, and by then PNU supporters and ODM supporters soon began a clash.
We are tired of dictatorship and colonialism, tribalism. I am elected already. You're very competent. Of course, I'm very competent.
And they see me as representing the change that they desire.
After consultation with the British Foreign Office and the Department of International Development cited a lot of malpractices in the outgone elections, the country was tearing apart. Kikuyus, Ambians, Marians, and other ethnic tribes from the central region fought against other tribes aligned to the Orange Democratic Party, led by Raila Odinga. In 2008, the late Kofi Annan, the then Secretary General of the United Nations, saved the country with consultation of eminent African personalities from the AU, rolling in the position of a Prime Minister. Raila Odinga was sworn in on the 17th of April 2008 as the second Prime Minister of Kenya, with a power-sharing cabinet with 42 ministers and 50 assistant ministers. This was termed as the Grand Coalition Government.
Raila Amolo Odinga, naapa kwamba nitakuwa mwaminifu kwa Rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya.
In 2010, President Kibaki championed the referendum, which was a major triumph and achievement which went a long way into addressing Kenya's governance and institutional challenges. This was considered as his greatest achievement in his tenure. Later in 2013, Kibaki handed over Kenyan presidency to his successor, Uhuru Kenyatta, on the 9th of April. This handover made the end of his presidency and 50 years of public service.
Anakabidhiwa hivi sasa upanga, hiyo ishara ya kwamba amekuwa amiri jeshi mkuu wa majeshi yote ya ulinzi ya Kenya. Haya, tumshangilie kwa makofi, shangwe na nderemo.
President Kibaki was happily married to Lucy Kibaki in 1961 until her death in April 2016. They had 4 children: Judy Wanjiku, Jimmy Kibaki, David Kagai, and Tony Githinji, among several grandchildren. Kibaki has been ailing for a while now, until his demise in April 2022. President Kibaki will be remembered as the first ever president of the Republic of Kenya to revive the economy of the country. President Mwai Kibaki, the legendary economy master. Dennis Munene for KAK TV.